Hi, do you remember the film Titanic? Were you around when it first came out? I was 12 and I think it was the first film that I went to see by myself with some friends. It was a big moment for me and I was absolutely obsessed with it. I loved the love story. I loved the visual effects. I loved the drama of it all. I loved that it was based on a true story, and I was just completely swept up in it, and all the hype and the media and the goss, and I just loved Leo and Kate, and I loved it all. I was obsessed. Around this time, the internet was becoming more common in everyday households, and I was allowed to jump online and, using the dial-up, look at images of Titanic. And I believe my dad granted me permission to print out like 3 photos. And this was the start of my overwhelm feeling. I was a young age and I distinctly remember looking at all these images of Titanic and all this fantastic information, and knowing that I would never get through it all, that I would never be able to read all of this, no matter how many pages I clicked through. And limiting my choice of what I was going to print to 3 images was really hard. I found this really stressful. Fast forward to now, and I can see how that experience of Titanic and the overwhelm of information has shaped how I deal with things now. I put limits on how many pages I will read, especially if researching something. I will be okay with not diving into podcasts. If someone sends me a podcast episode and says this one's great, I will listen to it. Otherwise, it's books and newsletters for me. I will also just be okay with finding a few select topics that interest me and sticking with them. I don't need to know about everything going on in the world, and that suits me and my overwhelm. So giving clients permission to find their limits and to find their criteria, as well as their containers around information and how you sort and store information that you want to hold on to, is one of my greatest passions, because we are in this time where it's just so overwhelming. There's so much information out there, and you could really go mad thinking that I need to get on top of all of this. So if you are really feeling this, and maybe you had a similar experience when you were younger, I would love to hear it, and I would love to hear how you combat information overload and overwhelm.